Hi everyone. Today I thought I would start doing something a little different, something I don't really do, and that is play with my inks. So when I get a new ink, I tend to swatch it and maybe put it in a pen and use it. I don't really draw or do anything kind of more artistic. But I've been inspired by the way a lot of the other YouTubers kind of make little bits of art and just kind of have fun. So I thought I want to do that too. I want to have a pen ink party. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have an ink party. So I just have this cream Midori notebook here. And I already tried to do this once before. It didn't really work out well, so we're not going to look at that. We're going to skip the page. We're just going to start fresh, pretend it never happened, and do something new. If I can get the page open, there we go. I'm going to use my Esterbrook thingy to hold the book open. I've got some water. I've got my dip pen. I've got another pen, which I'm going to not fill but dip. I've got some other stuff. So the ink I want to party with today is the Diamine Inkvent Raspberry Rose. And this is a standard ink. And this came out, I don't even know, maybe 2-3 years ago. If you know, please put it in the comments. I saw this I've seen it in a couple of videos in terms of people using it, but I think the first time I saw it and kind of fell in love with somebody using it was Grace Wildly Imaginable, I think is the name of her channel. And oh, hair everywhere. She loved this ink and I loved the way it looked when she used it, so I found a bottle online. It wasn't too expensive. I actually bought it with my Lamy All-Star Fiery, and in fact I bought this pen to go with the ink. Yes, I did that. That's how my brain works. And I spent ages looking for the perfect pen. And I almost bought the Kaweco collection Perkio infrared to go with it, but I decided I would get the All-Star. And I used it in the All-Star exclusively for several months and loved it. But as you know, in my currently ink for February, this now contains a different ink. So if you want to go watch that video and find out what it is, please do. So let's get on with it. So Raspberry Rose is a really lovely, as it says, raspberry rose color, I think is really all you need to describe it. I do like to shake it a little bit. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is just use my dip pen to write out what ink we are using today. So this is Diamine Raspberry Rose. There you go. So as you can see, it has that nice kind of darkish maroony look to it. Not quite red. Not quite plum, somewhere between those, but I really love this color. And when you use it on white paper, actually can look much lighter, but I like the way it looks on cream paper. I am a kind of cream paper lover. So I want to try, this might be too fat, but let's try it. Very, very fat lines when you use the back of the dip pen. So do something like that. I'm not great at drawing specifically. I'm an okay doodler. Like a lot of people, I have spent my life doodling, you know, and you get a picture in your head and things don't really work out the way you think they're going to. That last bit. It's not terrible, I guess. It just looks like circles, though. It doesn't really look like a rose. I think it needs filling in, but let's do one more, because then I want to do my raspberries. Sorry if you can hear it in the background, my husband talking to the cat. She ruined the previous video. But we love her, you know. You can't stay mad at them. They don't do things, well, sometimes they do things on purpose, but usually they just want your attention, your love, your affection. Oh, that looks way worse. I don't know what I'm doing. That looks like eyeballs. Looks like crazy eyes. See, I shouldn't be allowed to do these things. I should practice this more. I made some of these in my work notebook just as doodles, and they looked so much better. So just gonna fill. Oh. And then when you try to get a curved line, you get a straight line, and Lordy, help me. I'm just gonna try and make these slightly more attractive now. Call them abstract eyeballs. How about that? Like crazy. It's crazy looking. Oh no. This went horribly wrong, but I'm not gonna do this again. I'm not gonna film it again. You know, sometimes you just have to embrace your little mistakes. You learn from them in life. And you know, I can accept I'm not an artist. I've never been trained in art. I've never studied. I like art. I like to look at art. I certainly like to watch people make art. I am just not an artist. I do other things. I write. I like to write fiction. So that's my thing. I'm not trying to be an artist. I was just trying to experiment. So anyway, let's get on. Let's get on. Oh, why did I dip that again? Wasteful. What I want to do is some little raspberries. So I'm taking my, what is this? It's the Platinum 3776 Nice Lilas, which is a beautifully pink. A friend gave this to me. I'm not going to ink it with this ink because I've actually bought a separate ink for it that is on its way. It also does have a crack in it, making it difficult to clean. So yeah, I just didn't want to get involved in inking and re-cleaning. So I'm just using it as a dip pen, but it has a fine point. And I'm gonna fill in some of these gaps now with some raspberries. So I just draw a kind of soft, not really a triangle, just a soft triangular shape, and then fill it in with little beads of raspberry. You could, like, technically you could fill it in with a second color so they stand out a bit more. But this was just more to get the shape. Yeah, so when well, way back in the day, in the 90s, when I was young, I wasn't even, I wasn't even in my 20s, or maybe I was around 19, 20. I got a bartender's license in New York. I know it sounds weird, but I did. And you had to go take this course, and then once you pass the course, you get a certificate, and it allows you to be a bartender. You had to have one of those to be a bartender in New York City. I don't know if that's still the case. I assume New York's bar laws are pretty good. At least they used to be. So a lot of it was learning to mix drinks. And one of the things they did to keep you from getting, intoxicated while you're learning to make drinks, because you had to do it with actual alcohol and taste things, was give you strawberries. Yes, they gave us raspberries, which is why I'm drawing raspberries, why I'm telling this story, because of the ink name, so you, obviously there's, if you take the stem out of a raspberry, there's a bit of a hole in there, a dip. You'd use that to scoop up the alcohol to taste it. And yeah, we did that, and it was fun, and we ate a lot of strawberries and drank a lot of mixed drinks. I remember it's called the Blue Whale, and it's like curacao and vodka, I think. And I think that's all that's in it. And yeah, and that tasted particularly nice with the raspberries. And yeah, we didn't use, but we might have had some blackberries as well. I don't remember. I do remember the raspberries and the Blue Whale. And I had quite a few of those. Me and my friend, who was also doing it, who had convinced me to go take the course and get a bartending license with her. Yeah, we enjoyed the Blue Whale the most. I did anyway. Obviously I don't encourage lots of drinking, but if you do drink, that's fine. I used to enjoy mainly spirits, like, oh, that's a weird shape, vodka, rum. Not a big fan of whiskey or bourbon. But yeah, so I don't even like gin, which is a crime in the UK, I think. But yeah, I'm not a big, I just don't like the taste of it. Vodka and rum are kind of the spirits I can stand the taste of, and I always prefer a mixed drink. So I definitely love a vodka drink mixed with something, usually like fruit juice or I don't know, some other kind of flavor. I always like, my husband and I used to get the flavored vodkas from Absolute, and yeah, I always prefer things like mojitos or rum and Coke, something like that. I don't really drink that much anymore. I have a lot of health conditions. I take a lot of medication now, so it's not really conducive to drinking very much. But I still enjoy an occasional beverage when I go out. Usually now I get some kind of tasty European cider when I go out, bottled, not tap stuff, usually like Kopparberg or Porter. Sorry, I'm probably saying those incorrectly, but yeah, the bartenders always know what I mean. I always get the fruity flavors. I mean, cider is fruity flavored generally. It's apples or pear, but I always like the things like passion fruit or mixed berry, things like that. I am definitely more of a cocktail style girl. Right, so there's my little raspberries, there's my freaky red eyes. So that did not really go the way I thought it would. Man, I've got some everyone's favorite, some ASMR, popping some packaging, and I'll lay some ink down, and let's see what happens when you do this. I'm just gonna put a few dots around. I should probably get a water brush or something so I can do a bit more, but like I said, this is my first time kind of experimenting, except for the other day. But yeah, let's see what happens when you try to not a lot. I probably just need a plastic bag. I see a lot of people use plastic bags to make interesting. I should also get one of those what do you call it, I forget what they're called, the bulb blower things that you would normally use like for your ears. All right, I've now just got your typical freezer bag. And I'm gonna try this again. I don't know what, I probably should just lay down more ink to see what the poppers would have done, but yeah. Let's see what this does. Ah. Oh, there we go. Getting some streaks. That's kind of fun. Now I see why everyone does it. That's definitely a lot more fun. Let's try it on another bit. I should probably put more down instead of keep my it's like my inclination is to constantly wipe it off so there's not too much ink, when really you probably want a bit more for being a slightly more crazy artistic with the ink. Ooh, that's really nice. I like that a lot. I've been listening to my 80s playlist on Spotify. I was a teen, a preteen and a teen through the 80s, and to be honest, I haven't listened to a lot of my music from back then in quite some time, a couple of decades maybe. So I decided to start listening to stuff again, and it's amazing how you can recite the lyrics verbatim of songs you haven't heard in 20, 30 years. They really imprint on you when you're younger. So I thought I would do this, and I'm gonna start with Living in the 80s, which is a song by the band Killing Joke. You may or may not know them or this song, but it's quite famous. They literally published it, released it, and I think 1980 was when it came out. I might be wrong, but it was definitely an anthem throughout my youth, and now has become a remembrance of that time. So I'm gonna write out the lyrics here. So this is, actually the song is just called 80s, I think. So you can look it up if you want to listen to it. Yeah, so here we go. Hopefully this is centered. So we've got 80s by Killing Joke. And if anybody is a Batman comic fan, they will know that is the name of a very famous comic in the 80s about the Joker. There you go. That's all I can fit with my slanted big writing. Yeah, I am not a small writer, but I think you can see the ink better, even with a fine nib. The shadow's not too bad. But yeah, I really do love this color. Even with my terrible crazy eyes artwork. Woo! I mean, it kind of looks like a weird monster face if you hold it that way. Does it look kind of like a face? So this was my ink party with Diamine Raspberry Rose. I have given away samples of this. I've used a bit and it's still quite full, like 2/3. So I don't know if I'll ever need one. I do love the bottle. The special inkvent 50ml bottles are beautiful. If you have this ink, please sound off in the comments. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? What do you like about it? Do you use it often? What pen do you use it in? All the things. Yeah, so this is my first ink party. Let me know if you enjoyed it, if you want to see more ink parties, because I think I'll just keep doing them, because actually it's kind of fun, even though I can't draw. It's still kind of fun, and I'll try to remember more stories from my long life of weirdness. Sometimes weird. I don't know. Was the bartender story wasn't weird, I guess. Probably weirder things that have happened to me in life. I'm just rambling now, so I should probably end the video.